And you know, you see on these posters behind me, these signs, tomorrow begins today. That means something. What it means is that I don't want us to stand by and wait for the next election, to wait for whoever is elected the next president of the United States. We have some hopes in that regard. But I don't want us to wait. We want to begin taking responsibility and taking action now. We want to start doing things now. And I know that many of you are already members of our One Core organization, which is a group that you see some of the folks over here with t-shirts on, is a group that we formed some time back that are out doing good and important work here in Iowa and all across the country, and actually taking responsibility and helping with so many of the issues that we're faced with. Whether it's rebuilding New Orleans, whether it's signing children up for the Children's Health Insurance Program, there's so many things that we can do. But I want you, all of you, your friends and neighbors, to participate and join in One Core. I'm told that we've added over 100 chapters of One Core today as a result of the So we want you to participate. I'm looking for my cheat sheet. You can go do it by going to johnedwards.com. You can also text HOPE to, the number's what I can't remember. Text HOPE to 30644. 30644 on your phone, and that's another way to get to us. So we want you to participate. The whole notion is we need to bring about the change that Iowa and our country needs. And we've seen over the last few years, since the election, you know, the truth is I learned a lot from the campaign, but I've learned even more since the campaign. Because I've seen what people can do when they decide to take responsibility and take action. We raised the minimum wage in 6 states in America, even though the Congress had not raised the minimum wage as they needed to do. We went out and made college available to kids who were willing to work for it. We organized workers into unions, thousands of workers across this country. Which is an important cause because it strengthens the middle class, strengthens America in the process. I went with others to Uganda with a great organization called the International Rescue Committee to do humanitarian work in northern Uganda. I have seen firsthand what can happen when we take responsibility and we don't stay at home and just complain about somebody else not doing what they're supposed to do. Instead, we take and seize control of our own country. And that's exactly what we're going to ask you to do in this campaign. We will have a National Day of Action next month in January. I think it's on January the 27th. But we want you to join us in this cause to bring about the change that this country needs and needs so badly. And this campaign will be a grassroots campaign. We want people to hear our voice, and I want to hear the voices of people here in Iowa and all across this country. I want to hear from you. I want to hear your ideas about the things that we need to do. And we want you engaged and involved. That's what this is about. And there's so much that needs to be done. And I know that most of you understand it already. Starting, and from my view, starting with restoring America's moral leadership in the world. And it's an unfortunate fact, but that moral leadership and reestablishing that moral leadership begins with Iraq. And my view is that it would be an enormous mistake to adopt the McCain doctrine and escalate this war in Iraq. That is not what we should do. What we should do is make it clear we're not going to stay in Iraq, and the best way to make it clear is to actually start leaving.
Yes.
That's what The other thing that we need to do is we need to tell the truth about what happened in Iraq in the past and what's happening now. You know, first of all, many of us, including me, believed that there were weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. We were wrong. I voted for this war, which many of you know, probably all of you know, and have since said that I should not have voted for this war. It was a mistake, and I take responsibility for that. I am responsible for that. I'm not responsible for the conduct of the war. That's Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld, and they bear the responsibility for that. But if we want to lead again, the foundation for moral leadership is to tell the truth. To tell the truth about what's happened in the past, and to tell the truth about where we are now. And where we are now is we have bad and worse choices. And nobody can guarantee what the result in Iraq is going to be, no matter what path we take. The American people need to hear that. They deserve to hear that. They deserve to hear the truth from their leaders. But I'll tell you something, if we don't lead in this world, we are the preeminent power on the planet today. If we don't lead, there is no leadership. And there's chaos and instability and insecurity. We are the foundation for security and stability in the world. In order for us to be that foundation, the rest of the world has to look up to and respect the United States of America. The rest of the world needs to believe that we recognize not just our responsibility to ourselves, but our responsibility to humanity. Because we have an enormous responsibility to humanity. And there's so many ways for us to show what we care about and meet that responsibility.